The first thing my view about leadership is it's not a job, it's a calling. It's not for everybody. You either want what comes with it or you don't. It's not management. I think the most important distinction is between a manager and a leader. The first thing I think about leadership, and it's probably been taught to me by my father and mother until I'm blue in the face, but the first principle of leadership is selflessness. It's the day you decide the mission and your team are more important than you are. More important than your health, more important than your personal set, more important than your own family. You sacrifice for the good of the team, for the good of the mission. In the Army, we have a cardinal rule: leaders eat last. And there was always, when I was in the Army, there was this clarity around leadership. You were the boss, but you always assumed the hardest part of something. You let your soldiers eat first. You let your soldiers sleep first. You empowered your soldiers to go do what they need to do. You trained them, you developed them, you punished them when they need. You did what you needed to do so that when the moment came, and you're wherever you are, because you can only be one person, and the 100 of them for every one of you is out on the fringes doing what needs to get done to win. I have never met a leader who could do anything by themselves, ever. And I learned very early in the Army, the little guys will kill you. They don't have to disobey you. All they have to do is make a conscious decision. I don't like him, and I'm not going to do anything special to help. 5 o'clock, and I work till 5 o'clock, I'm going home. But the ones who are inspired by your leadership, who care, who you've developed correctly, they won't. If you drop something and they know it's important, they don't go home and get in their car, they pick it up for you, and they might never even tell you about it. You're getting protected and promoted and improved every day by people you don't even talk to. You don't even know it. And by the way, if you're a good leader, open your periphery vision and your power of observation and start to note those people. In my building, all the way down to the woman who cleaned my office is on my team. Right? She does something for me and my team every day that's important. If my building weren't the way I wanted it, we needed it, things were dirty, and I make a point of keeping her in my vision. She's part of my team too. I see her, I talk to her, I thank her. Right? The guy who drives our car. I think about him, talk about him. By the way, I hold him to the same standards I hold Dave. If I got out and got in the car and it was dirty, or candy wrappers, I would be as upset as if the GR team blew a piece of legislation, because to me, the standards are the same at every level. So I'm a big believer it's selfless, and you just have to be willing to make that sacrifice, or you shouldn't be here. I think the real leaders are principled. My dad taught me, and he never finished the equation. He said, everyone should have 10 things that they stand for, and they're completely uncompromisable. You won't change them for yourself. You won't change them for your spouse. You won't change them for your boss. You won't change them for your children. They may even be so powerful you would die for them. But they are uncompromisable. What's that called? That is also your moral compass. And that's also the way that you can make a decision that looks really, really hard and have it get easier quickly. When I was at the SEC, if somebody brought me a problem, my first impulse was run it down the list. Oh, sorry, that just flunked number 4. I don't do that. Well, you don't understand. If we did it just this once, you would be. I'm like, I can't make exceptions to 4. I don't do it. The other power I found in living that way is not only do you get some clarity of decision, you have anchors to decide who you are, what you stand for. You have peace of mind. I've gotten plenty of things wrong. I have rarely doubted I made the choice that I was meant to make. That doesn't always equal right. That just equals consistent person of integrity and person of principle. I have never gone home and looked in the mirror and go, why did you do that? To me, your list of 10 is why you will be able to sleep at night. You don't have it, you are a compromised actor. And your team and your opponents and your bosses know. The workplace is filled with competition of insecurity. Right? Isn't it? even let's be honest, even to each other, right? You love each other, but you know what? You want to succeed. Success can come lots of ways, including at the expense of someone else. People play the game. Where are you weak? Where are you insecure? Greatest phrase I ever heard, Madeleine Albright says, always be confident, but never be certain. That's the way you can be confident in what you're doing. You can be confident in your choices, but you should never be a person of certitude. Nothing is certain. And to me, the smartest leaders are the ones who know they could be wrong. Could be wrong. I could be wrong. I think I have it right, but I could be wrong. Someone could show me something that proves to me I'm wrong, and then I'd have to change. Be confident, always be certain. So I think the principle, I am ruthlessly a believer in ethics. I see more great leaders go down the tube because they took some stupid basketball tickets they shouldn't have taken. Because they moved some money they shouldn't have moved. Because they touched somebody else's spouse that they shouldn't have touched. The reality is, life is filled with traps for you. And to me, the saddest traps for leaders, well, you fell into that. You really? That got you? There's enough other hard things to get you. Don't let the stupid stuff get you. And I don't have any tolerance. If I smell ethical problem in a teammate of mine, that's their last day. There's no, it was just this once out. Nope, there's never a twice. Ethics, never twice. No 2 times. Not my world. So I think that's really important. And last thing I'd say, I could say lots of things, but particularly in this stage and age, they're twins of the same thing. One, you have to be visionary. And I don't like the way business talks about this. You have to have a vision. I think you have to be playful. Doesn't sound like visionary, right? I think you have to run around playfully loving the world and looking for inspiration in the trees out there on the quad or the kids playing hack-a-sack, and somehow that triggers an idea in your head and an intuition. Who knows where imagination comes from? Who knows where intuition and creativity comes from? I believe it comes from all kinds of things you immerse yourself in and they come to you. But being playful, taking risks, throw out stupid ideas. Insist the corners of the square be rounded like Steve Jobs did. Dan will tell you, I'll drive them crazy. Because we're going to have a board dinner and I want to know why we can't have colored lights under the plants. Like, is he really worrying about this? But to me, I want every environment to be fun and energetic and playful and letting yourself be a playful person with people and creative, and let's change the colors, let's change the logo, why not? Let's move it, let's just break it. That's what I think people like Google do well. You go in that company, they let you break it. They will let you break it, and you will not get in trouble. And they break some things they shouldn't break. But I tell you, they create out of their breakage in a pretty sustained cycle. So I think that's really important, that creativity, that playfulness. Be reflective, be peaceful, and have confusion endurance. The world's chaotic, and the people I admire, I have this image of Dwight D. Eisenhower standing at a window watching the rain pour on Normandy. And he's had every smart military mind known to man sitting in this church with 6,000 ships at sea. The balance of all of civilization is fundamentally in this one guy's hands. And Omar Bradley says, I don't know, I think we should hold. And Montgomery says, I don't know, if we lose this window, we'll never get the tides for another 2 weeks. The Germans will da-da-da. We gotta go. Call up the weather guy. Well, it's supposed to rain, there's a small window. I mean, shoot, they can't even get the snowfalls right. Can you imagine? And all that data available to them, right? By the way, this is my belief in data. It's good to a point. I still believe in intuition. They all gave it to him, and what does he do? He stares at the window for 5 minutes, takes a deep breath, and says, we go. And there's no more beautiful portrait than the Life magazine picture of Dwight D. Eisenhower standing in a field crying as the 82nd Airborne planes are on the horizon leaving, and by the way, mostly decimated. and he had to bear the weight of that. Right? People who can do that have a peace, and a calmness, and a courage that we should spend our whole life studying. Because, boy, I always say to myself, what if I had to decide if Janet Jackson can't wear those clothes?
I knew I was coming back to that sooner or later.